Like, art advice, it's gotten to a point where I just think it's useless and dumb at this point. And the reason I feel like that is because there's just so much crap out there. There's just so many, like, processes. Study this, do that, do this, study this, study that, this, that, especially with digital art, processes of how other artists do stuff and this and then that. And then it's like it is amazing that there's so much free content out there for anyone to consume. All these free art tutorials that you basically can get if you was to pay for an actual course. So there's like no point of paying for courses. But I just feel like, personally for me, it's become so oversaturated, and it's hard to like know where you stand as an artist. It's hard for me to figure out where I want to go, or how I should paint, or how I should draw, or what I need to improve on, because there's just a billion different videos of just like clickbaity titles saying, do this, not this. This is a good way to paint. Do that, this, that. I mean, I always just assumed or thought that the way to get good at art is just to focus on the fundamentals, and that's pretty much what most, I guess, art teachers teach, whether that's perspective, shape, form, line weight, all that bullshit. But there's just something they never teach in these videos that pisses me off so much, is just the time that it takes to actually get good at art. It takes so long to get to improve, and even when you do improve, you don't feel like you're there. I mean, maybe it doesn't matter what I say. This is coming from someone who's barely made any money from my art in general. But I feel like I have grown a lot and improved my art, I would say, in the last 3 or 4 years, and sort of finding where I kind of want to go down. But it's still a struggle. And I think right now, being an artist has always been a struggle. But right now, especially with just AI. And I don't really know where to stand with AI. I'm obviously not a fan of it at all. I wish it never existed in the first place. But I don't in my heart, I don't want to believe that it's actually going to take over our jobs, and it's actually going to be a tool that people are going to use in the industry, which is going to take away from us artists who have spent years and years and years perfecting our craft. If I'm being honest, I don't really want to talk too much about AI. I don't. It's such a negative environment around it. I just want to talk about just the years and hours of practice it takes to be a good, a master at art, if I'm being honest. Now, some of the best artists, or like the artists that I look up to, whether it's like Kim Jong-gi or Peter Han, Karl Klipinski, Rembert Montold, Murata Yusuke, these guys all have something in common that's quite simple, and they've spent years practicing their craft. And I think that's something a lot of us as artists we forget, that there really isn't a shortcut to doing any of this. So if I'm saying in terms of myself, I've been taking art seriously for, let's say, about 4 years now. Because I remember around 2020 is when I really tried to build a consistency to my art. But some of the best artists that I look up to, like Kim Jong Gi, has been drawing since he was a kid. Rembert Montold has drawn for like these. All these artists have drawn for more than 10 years. All of the masters that you've been looking at, they've been drawing for so long. And even me, like I've been drawing for 4 years, I can see how much I've improved. But even I'm just like, when am I going to get to a level? When am I going to make a living? But it might not even happen anytime soon. It might not happen next year, the next 3 or 4 years, the next 10 years. And that's an unfortunate truth that I have to sort of come to terms. Now, I ain't saying that you're not going to be able to make a living in the time frame that I had. You might be able to. Honestly, I know an artist who was able to make a living in just 3 years, and I guess a lot of it depends on your vision, or do you know where you want to go? Are you locked into that? Are you good at your marketing? Is your portfolio good? I mean, there's loads of ways you can make money with art, especially in today's society. But for someone like me, I personally have no clue where I really want to go down. I'm sort of tied between like character design. I was tunneled into that for a bit, for a few months, but I kind of just got a bit burnt out from working on characters. So I kind of just went to like environment paintings or just sketching on my sketchbook here and there, or just doing studies here and there. And it's a really, it's difficult. I say for someone like me, I don't know if a lot of you guys also relate to this, but I really don't know where I want to go down when it comes to the art industry, because the truth of the simple thing is, I'm not passionate about character design. I'm not passionate about environment design. I'm not passionate about storyboards or any of that stuff. I'm passionate about just drawing, whether it's sketching or just drawing the world around me, taking my sketchbook everywhere I go, just drawing what's in front of me, around me, drawing people. I'm also passionate about creating a world that I'm working on, just creating characters, world building, creating the clans or just the lands in the world I'm working. I'd say I'm just a very passionate person when it comes to art and creation. So it's hard for me to just sit there and tunnel myself onto something that I'm worried that I might just burn out in, whether it's character design, environment design, because I just love drawing. I just love drawing the world around me. I love drawing a human being. I love drawing an animal. I love drawing the trees. I love drawing a flower. So it's just, there's just so much interesting stuff in our world that we can draw that it's so hard for me to just tunnel down into one thing. This is my advice. Now, this might not really come off as useful, but to anyone who's into art, getting into art, I really think you guys should take your sketchbook with you everywhere you go. Like, there's so much you're missing out on when you're not doing it. There's so much you can learn from just drawing simple, basic, mundane things that are around you. And you guys are really, if you're not doing it, you're really putting a limit to your potential that you have. There's so much you could learn and improve from just by simply doing that. You don't have to do like bring any fancy tools with you. You don't have to bring like, you can bring your watercolors if you want. You can bring that. I just personally bring a sketchbook, a pencil, and a pen. Uh, it's nothing that deep, but I just think if you really want to become a master, I guess, or maybe you don't want to become a master, you don't have to worry about what I have to say, but if you truly enjoy drawing art, I don't see why you shouldn't bring your sketchbook everywhere you go. And if you don't really want to listen to me, to someone who I guess isn't a master, then you should listen. You can listen to the masters who actually say you should do this, like Rembo Montour, Kim Jong-ji, Peter Han. All these guys will say the same thing: bring your sketchbook everywhere you go. Now, going back to all the clickbaity stuff I was talking about, especially with YouTube or just social media in general, there's an artist that I'm pretty sure all of you have heard of. Everyone in the art community has pretty much heard of him, called Mark Brunette, and he makes a lot of tutorials and stuff on YouTube that you see, and they're relatively helpful, but every time I've watched his videos, I've always felt a sense of, it's like he expects us to be on his skill level, because when he creates something, right, when he's doing his tutorials, it looks so easy. The way he does it, it's like it looks so simple and easy. It's like, oh wow, I can do this. And then when you start doing it, when you try and follow his tutorial, I guess this is speaking from my experience. You like, you can't get anything near to what he's doing, because Mark Brunette is an extremely skilled artist. He's been doing it for so many years. He's worked in the industry. You know, he's very good at what he does because he has so much experience. So he's not the only person to use this kind of like style when it comes to making videos. Like loads of YouTubers, art YouTubers, do these kind of like clickbait titles for their tutorials. But it's the same thing all around. It's years of experience condensed into like 5 minutes. That's just, for me at least, that's just the fact when it comes to just art or any skill that takes a long time to master. Is you have to really put in the time, and if you're not really passionate over this, you won't really put in the time. This is something that you have to love to do. Like as I mentioned before, it's not doing art is not like a sustainable career. You don't go into art because you see it as a good career choice. You go into art because you're passionate about it. And if you're passionate about it, you're going to spend hours and years working on it and improving your craft. So that's all I really had wanted to say. Like these tutorials may help you a little bit, but your consistency and just passion for this will push you so much further than any of these videos can. And if there's one thing you want to take away from this artist who makes no living from doing it and is at least trying to make a living, is take your sketchbook everywhere you go. You can take your iPad as well if you enjoy drawing on your iPad or whatever tablet you have. The only reason I'd say don't do that is because I guess it's a bit dangerous because it's like a £500 piece of software and you never know what kind of people out there. But if you take your sketchbook everywhere you go, just try and draw what's around you. You learn by doing that. You learn form. You learn perspective. You learn so many things just by drawing what's around you. It's like all in one package of all the fundamentals of art. You can maybe not color, but if you want to bring your paints as well, like your watercolors and stuff, you could do that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video of me ranting, I guess, and I'll try and make more videos and be more consistent with YouTube.